So we're here, the last day in the boozy themed, non-booze containing soaps. And this is the whole reason, this bar right now is the whole reason I have been wanting to do a line like this for years. And I'm going to tell you what that bar is and why I've wanted to do this line for so long in just a minute. But before I get into that, hello, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You're at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And today is day 206 of 365 days of soap, and we are finishing up the non-boozy, boozy themed soaps that we've been working on for the past few days, and we are making the mulled wine. Now, this soap is the reason why I wanted to do the entire, series to begin with, because when I was a kid, there was this claymation thing on TV where they're all going wassailing. Here we go wassailing, right? And then like the announcer for the claymation special is talking about what, wassail means and wassail. And this is the reason that I wanted to do this, because a mulled wine, as far as I can tell, is the drink of choice, I guess, when you are here we come a wassailing, and I thought that was cool. Now, this particular bar is going to be the brightest with the biggest sort of color blends in the entire line, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. And the color and the scents really are dialed in really well together to really complement each other very nicely. The scent blend is going to be very reminiscent of really all of the wine soaps that we do, because it's basically a combination of all four, so that's pretty cool. And as we have seen in the last 3 days, I'm not making any of these bars, the Soap Apprentice is. So let's go check out her pour and we can talk more about the mulled wine and wassailing and all of the things. Hey, Sudsers, welcome back to a sort of confusing video, because we're making mulled wine today, but we're not using wine. But this soap is the whole last reason why I wanted to do this series in the first place, because okay, so you guys remember the thing from like the late 80s, early 90s, the claymation Christmas celebration thing? Do you remember that? With like the dinosaurs that were sort of like, they were the hosts for it, and then you had, like the Carol of the bells are like hitting themselves on the head with mallets, and then there was like the penguins and all of the cute things. Like, do you remember that? I loved that Christmas special so much, and like up until I moved out of the house, every year that was something that we would rewatch as part of our Christmas, traditions, because it was awesome. And the dinosaurs in that, when they were doing their, announcing or whatever, they were defining wassailing, right? And people were going around going, here we come a wassailing or whatever, singing the songs and doing things. And like the main dinosaur guy, the logical guy or whatever, not the Triceratops, but the other one, I don't know if he's a velociraptor or I have no idea. But he did the definition of wassail, right? And so this soap right here, the mulled wine soap, this is the whole reason why I've wanted to do this series, and why I've been wanting to put it in my line for years. It's just every year I forget, but I love the idea of doing an entire soap series for like a gift set or whatever around Christmas caroling and the cool like drinks like hot cocoa and yes, all of that, but also just warm alcoholic drinks like Wassail is apparently a mulled wine, and I've never had that, but it sounds delightful, doesn't it? Like, I'd want that. And so that was the whole thing. I wanted to do the mulled wine and do the blends and all of that. And so this one is actually really cool. It's a blend of 3 of my 4 wine soaps as far as scent goes. So it's a Shiraz, so you got some sweetness, as well as the one that we put in the Sauvignon Blanc. So you have a little bit of well, more sweetness really. And then you have the Napa one that we use for the Merlot. Very delightful scent blend with this. And look at that little teeny tiny piece of red that went into that white Pyrex there. I wonder if she noticed that. But yeah, so the blend is delightful, and the whole reason for doing these soaps was because, again, I wanted to name a soap series, you know, Wassailing, because I love the claymation Christmas thing. That was the whole, that was it. It was literally the only reason. But every time we get to, oh, now she noticed. Oh gosh. That's actually funny. We've done that before in, you know, soap videos, and as I'm watching it and doing the voiceover or whatever, like with the Winnie, that one comes to mind, you know, immediately, telling you, watch what's happening in the mold, because I was not watching what was happening in the mold and how it was discoloring so crazy. And, you know, but you saw it and you got to see the thing. But, you know, again, here's Georgia May. She's making, and oh, great, there's a piece of burgundy in this one. Awesome. But yeah, so I wanted to do a soap series and have like a gift set that's like wassailing. And like the whole idea of Christmas caroling and, you know, friends getting together and enjoying the cold and things and all of the fun parts about the holiday season, really. And so I have wanted to do this for years, and I get to, you know, Christmas time, and I've been designing my bars and figuring out all of the things for like, you know, 4 months prior. And then I make them all, and I go and I step back and go, okay, cool, are we done? And then I realize that I did not leave room in the line to do this. So I thought it would actually be cool to do this for the fall/winter, and then have this set actually available throughout that whole time. And, you know, do this essentially before I even start thinking about Christmas soaps. But that statement is not true in and of itself, because I've been thinking about Christmas soaps since June, but you know, whatever. But if I make this first, then, you know, I can structure the rest of the stuff. And of course by I mean Georgia May, because I didn't make any of these boozy themed soaps. I didn't make any of the Wassail bars because I was lost in the throes of all things Taylor Swift at this moment, and we were falling behind on videos really. So she ended up making all 4 for this set, which again is super cool because Georgia May has never tasted any of these things. She has no idea what they are. I really also have kind of never tasted any of these things and don't really know what they are, but they all sound delightful. They sound like cool things that you want to be a part of. So I'm intrigued, and so I, you know, make them smell like how I think they should smell. You tell me butterscotch bourbon, and it's just going to smell like butterscotch candy. Like that's just the thing, because butterscotch candy is delicious. Like those little hard candies, they're amazing. So yeah, so you know, 2 people who don't really know anything about these drinking things, so we made some soaps, and she asked me for what things should smell like, and I told her, how about this, and then do this, and then she designed them all. Again, not drinking any of this stuff, so I think it's all fun and ridiculous just because I wanted the whole idea of going out and caroling, or just hanging out with friends in general, and just the spirit of Christmas in a different way that isn't like Christmas trees and Santa and all of that captured in my line. And again, it's not just Christmas, it's fall, it's winter, it's just all of the things. I find myself wanting to people more in the fall and winter months, because that's where my socialing comes in, and socialing and wassailing and all of the things, they all work together. And these 3 colors are beautiful and ready to pour, so let's go check that out. Now for this pour, Georgia May is going to be doing an in the mold swirl, really, and we don't do a lot with in the mold swirls, like in general, and that's kind of lame, really, because this is a fun way to create bars that are beautifully swirled with all kinds of different, you know, Rorschach tests in there. Like soapy Rorschach is one of my most favorite things in the world to do, but I very rarely do an in the mold pour. It's usually an in the pot, or it's whatever, it's all thing. And generally with an in the mold pour like this, you're kind of laying down the colors, alternating each color as you go, and putting them down, you know, in sort of, well, you know how she's, look how she's like wiggling it, like making a whole bunch of W's with each color to, and this is a really good consistency for the batter to do this as well, to allow the colors to sort of break the plane of the color beneath them, yes, but also the heaviness and the weight of this batter. It's a kind of medium trace if you gauge things by trace terms. It also like pushes the colors underneath out, and so that's cool. But usually after that, I take a hanger to it. I don't know if Georgia May is going to do that for this or not, but I usually take a hanger to it after I've done an in the mold swirl thing, just to help the colors move together a little bit better so they don't look too blocky and, you know, layered, or like a failed layer essentially when it's all said and done. Because when you're working with a batter that's at this trace, you do run the risk of it just sort of everything just sort of sitting on top of itself and creating layers and not, you know, swirls. And so taking a hanger to it actually does help everything sort of work together better and, you know, swirl into each other and make some more sense of the bar. And, you know, I mean, by nature, a soap like this is not meant to make sense. And in the mold swirl, that's not really the whole thing. I want to say that when I started making decorative soaps, like fancy soaps, as opposed to just making soap for soap, I want to say that this was my first pour, and I think that's accurate. Maybe. I feel like it was accurate. But you know, knowing me and just every soap maker in general, you want to try something super complicated for your first run out the gate. So I probably did something that was harder, but I want to say that it was this. And really, it's not really hard. There's not a lot to it. And she is going to take the hanger to it, so that's great. And the cool thing about hangers is there are specific ways that you can use them if you're trying to, you know, hit a specific effect, like a butterfly, or, you know, like a hidden feather swirl, or a flower, multiple flower pulls for that. But also you can just push it in there and do the thing, and, you know, whatever, and that works beautifully as well. And again, it creates really cool different soaps. Every soap is a little bit different, and it creates a really cool canvas for like soap Rorschach. Like, what do you see in this bar? I see a camel. Well, I see a bird, and it's fun. It's cool. I mean, there's no test right afterwards that says, well, if you see this, then that means that you're that. But I mean, I don't think Rorschach is an actual good test anyway. I think it's lame and silly, but it's fun, but not really a good indicator of, you know, mental whatever. Don't tell my mom I said that though, because she might get me. She's one of those shrink people, and she might disagree completely. She might really like Rorschachs. I don't know. And on to the cut of the mulled wine soap, and it is so shiny and beautiful and awesome, and definitely went through gel. And the colors all darkened up really nicely, which is cool. Now, the blend of different scents that went into this to create what I think a mulled wine should smell like, really, with some spice, but also some sweetness and all of that jazz. They don't discolor, so that's good to know. And so the darker, you know, the dark that you're getting from this that you did not see in the fluid batter is because of C-pop and because of just the saponification process in general. Whoa. You alright? Gonna survive? I should probably cut that out. I'm not gonna though, because again, this is real life. We bump the camera, we do the thing. And that soap is so beautiful. And immediately I saw a jack-o'-lantern face in the other side of that. Oh, and I actually think I saw a pumpkin face on that side too. That's interesting. And yeah, I love the cool different swirls and the very subtle variations from, you know, the purple to the pink to the, you know, darker pink, really. And it's super beautiful. And I don't really know what mulled wine looks like in general, but like I know what sangria looks like, and that sort of reminds me of sangria. So I can get behind that. Like the only thing that would need would just be like an orange slice on top, right? You got some cool sangria. I don't know. Maybe I don't know sangria either. I should stop talking about things that I don't understand. But yeah, I understand soap, and that's a beautiful one. And I smelled this soap when I went to the shop, and it smells delightful. And if mulled wine smells like this, then I would drink all kinds of mulled wine, really. But you know, I'm not really fancy with the things that I drink, is the thing. So it's back in the Taylor Swift videos when I was talking about lime White Claw and how it's beautiful. Look at those swirls. It's so gorgeous. Yeah, I was talking about lime White Claws and how they're gross or whatever. Like lime White Claws are gross, but if I drank anything this summer, it was a White Claw at the fire pit. Not the lime ones. The mango ones were delightful. But that's essentially the extent of my drinking knowledge. And when I drink something other than that, it's brown sugar bourbon, which if you have not drank, you should drink because it's delightful. It's made by Heritage Distillery, which is local here, and it's amazing. You can mix it with it's great all around. So those are my things. Those are the only things I know anything about. But, you know, if mulled wine looked like that and smelled like that, I would totally drink it. That's amazing. And now it doesn't matter. I don't have to drink it. I can soap with it. And there's for, you know, boozy connoisseurs, I guarantee people will walk into the shop and they'll see the mulled wine and they'll smell it and go, that's mulled wine. And we'll go, cool, good. I'm glad we got this right, because we don't know. It's just we wanted a mulled wine, and there it is, day 206. I'm calling it right now. I think this is going to be my favorite bar out of the entire series, and I think it's probably going to sell out faster than the other three, although the other three are really extraordinary too. I just really love the color and the design with this one, and the scent blend is just so nice that I really think this one is going to be the most popular by far. If you are interested in the mulled wine soap or the gift set that the whole thing comes in, you can totally get it at the website at soapandclay.com. Now, we are selling these as sets through the rest of fall and through the Christmas season, because I really, again, love this time of the year where you're getting together with your friends and you're doing the things, and maybe you go, you know, caroling and whatever. And so I wanted to sort of like capture that in one set. And I think because I didn't capture it in one set, that the Soap Princess did, and did an amazing job of it. So yeah, good job, George May, as usual. If you are interested in following me on social media, I am there, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you are interested in more soapy fun, subscribe to the channel. Now, we are actually going to be doing in the next little bit a lot of crazy stuff because we are ramping up for obviously the holiday season, and for, you know, 10 Dates of Thanks is going to be starting soon as well. So you definitely want to be around for that. So, you know, click the word subscribe, come be part of the Sudser family, and you'll get notifications when I start announcing things. For those of you who are subscribed, thank you so much. You're awesome. And tell me which one of the 4 non-boozy, boozy themed bars you liked out of this this set. Let me know in the comments below. That'd be cool. For me, I am all done today. So again, thank you for joining me for another round of 365 Days of Soap. You are awesome as usual, and I'm out of here. Bye.